Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm going to talk about something that's very un-TED-like, which is too much technology for your own good. So my theme here is the new tyranny of technology overreach. So what I'd like to ask you all to do is, in the next 15 minutes, is listen up and perhaps get awakened to the new threat. How to liberate yourself from the dumbing down that is prevalent through your devices. So let me ask you all, if you could, to cooperate, and can I have everyone stand up just for 10 seconds, please? Okay, as you stand up, please make sure that you leave your devices on your chair and turn it off. I assure you this will not be a near-death experience. I assure you this will liberate you. Okay, now, what I'd like you all to do as you've turned off your little toys is, for those who don't have a toy, the free people, to remain standing, and all the other prisoners to sit down. Okay, so let me see how many free people there are. Okay, there is no freedom here. Okay, there's one person here. Okay. Okay. So I hope this is proof that we live not in the era of the digital divide, but what I call the era of digital crack. So much technology that you've all been dumbed down, you can't even think for yourself. This is our world. This is not a 70-year-old man, this is a child. His parents have checked out because they're buying something on Google, or even better, they might be watching some porn. Now this is what's happened too. These are the geeks, the super geeks, who don't have a life, who are on that thing called FB, who need someone to follow them because they're so lonely. And they do that other thing, what's it called, twat? Or they do that twat thing, but I have to tell you, I don't do the Facebook thing, I do the face life thing, which is like, hello, what's your name, and can we shake hands, right? Speaking to someone next door, rather than seeking followers, because I have a life. I am not interested in being liked by people who I don't even know. I'm interested in being liked just by the few people I know, and I'm trying to form some relationships, relate to them. And I certainly don't have time to, it's twit. No, it's tweet. Yeah. Well, I don't tweet because I'm neither a twat nor a tweet. Okay. But this is the other thing. Now, the women in the room, you've been there. You've been there, right? It's Friday night, it's supposed to be a nice time, and he's playing with his thing. No, I mean his toy. I can't believe I said that, but he's playing with his toy. But you've all been there. This is the world. This is the TED world. Narcissism supreme. And you've all come here to experience a slightly un-TED-like talk. My understanding is that T stands for technology, right? My understanding is that somehow the lie is the geeks in Silicon Valley have told us that we will all be free because we'll have more technology. Click, democratize everything. Click, freedom. Click, join a revolution. No consequences. It's other place. It's not my neighborhood. And they've told us that we need to be entertained endlessly. E is entertainment, isn't it? Yeah. We need to be entertained endlessly. I mean, how many B movies can you watch in a lifetime? Hollywood. How many movies can you watch? How much rights do you have to be entertained all your life? So that's the E. And then the other D is, I think it's called design. Everything's cool. Everything's awesome. Any geek can come up with another design, which is usually software, a bit of color here and there, and it's cool. And so what we have now is design to essentially throw away things. Obsolescence through design. Nothing permanent, everything temporary. Buy a new phone, and 3 months later they'll tell you we got a new design. It's even cooler than the old one. And all we sheeps will follow up and buy the next design. So that's what TED stands for, doesn't it? But that ain't going to save the world, my friends. Realism will. But realism is not what this is all about, because you should not relate. That's why you have your toys. That's why you have your constant entertainment. And that's why you think somehow design and being cool will shape your world. So I've come up with a word called being less steady. You can tweet that. It's called not having a device to run your life. It's called like maybe going out to the garden. It's called maybe reading a book. And it's called maybe playing a musical instrument. Now you might say, what's the other second D? Well, it's delusional. It's about how not to be delusional and join revolutions everywhere, click. And pretend you're on knowledge when you're on porn. I don't know how many of you know that perhaps most of the activity on the internet is porn. But, you know, don't tell anybody, because we're all so lonely in those little rooms of ours and watching porn. But most of the activity on the internet is porn. I wrote a piece about 6 months ago about slaying the sacred cow of the internet as a force for good. But no one wants to know about that. Who will protect the 9-year-old child in Gansu province, in Kashmir, in Kalimantan, from Papua New Guinea, from pornography? The good guys, the do no evil people, you know those guys? They could, it's called algorithms, but they're not interested. It's only the state. But my God, we techies don't want the state to get involved. Very un-Californian, right? You know, freedom is ultimate, unfettered. You should be able to do anything. Just to think about the social consequences. So D is delusional. Click, escape, deny, don't relate to anything. And by the way, you all know that Coney movement they had, you know, to find some African guy. Well, those guys who generated them could have gone up just across the street in Washington and found those guys who caused war crimes in Iraq, Iran. But no, we're going to find remote places. Save those black people from their own tyrants. Let's not go and look in our own country, because, you know, we're all cool. So, and why? Multiple choice. Yuppies, it could be yammers, it could be yaks, it could be yaps, and it could be even Yahoo. But those of you who are not familiar with those words, look it up in the Oxford Dictionary. But roundly put, briefly, it's sort of being idiotic, talking too much about unimportant things, self-importance, disturbing people, etc. That's what the Y is. And you can look it up. Everything from being a yammer from a Yahoo, endlessly about unimportant things. Now I see everyone's gone a bit somber here, but you know, this is real, so just excuse me. I beg your pardon. But I'm assuming that I've spoken about 5 TEDs, so I'm assuming this will be my last one. If I've done my job, I will not be sitting for lunch and I will not be invited back, and that's my purpose. Okay, so having said that technology will save the world, the yuppies and the geeks always like to make you feel there's something more noble. And the noble thing is that poor brown people in poor countries, they need this. They need it. That's why you justify it. So all the yuppies are supporting poor people. And one of the most famous TED Talks is actually some guy from India, who's talking about children playing with computers in the hole. You all know that TED video? Yeah, you know, they like it. Liberals love this shit. You know, hole in the wall, Indians, etc., playing. But no one wants to tell you that they need toilets before they need a hole in the wall with a computer. they want to tell you that these kids are all going to be astrophysicists, and they're modeling stuff and learning chemistry and all of that. If you believe that, pigs will fly. That's true. But that's how it is, you know. And then you get then you get these people going visiting third world people, etc. But as you probably know, we have today more mobile devices than toilets. Now, just before lunch, it always makes me feel a bit constipated, but you know, let's just leave that one there. But what we have today is internet cafes everywhere with unemployed young men in India watching porn. You all know the consequences of that. But 400 million Indians don't have electricity, and they want internet cafes. And of course, you'll know that there are American commentators who said the world is flat. Give all those Indians and Africans mobile phones, and everything will be okay. No toilets. And this is our world. I've been to remote parts of Asia. People don't have toilets. They don't eat properly. They don't have shelter. They got a mobile phone. And they got Britney Spears with no clothes on. The assault of modernity. And this is supposed to be progress. So I like to sort of bring you back to the developed world, the narcissistic world. This apparently is progress. This is grown-up men, thankfully no women. Women, save us. Save us. Grown-up men celebrating buying a toy. A toy which will isolate them from their women, their children, etc. And all you women, you know these guys. You know these guys, okay? And this is celebrated on all the top business channels, Bloomberg, CNBC. This is apparently progress. Grown-up men wanting toys. This is apparently going to save the global economy. More toys. And if you got one, please don't tell us, because this would be too bad to see this. And then we have the dreaded... and then we have the dreaded selfie. Does that sound like selfish? I mean, I don't know. But that's the dreaded selfie. And now, the geeks have infected the guys who control the nuclear bombs and everything else. The super geeks have now controlled the super warmongers as well. And so now they're taking a selfie moment. Do you know where that was? Mandiba died, and they had to take a picture of themselves. So there you go. So we need to, but there's one woman who's like, shoot, man, what's going on here? She's thinking about liberation. And these guys are thinking selfie. Okay. And I want to end with this. You all know what this is, right? So this is a drone that I think there's some amazing companies saying, you know, not only are we going to promote getting you to buy things you don't need with money you don't have. It's called the Great American Dream. Debt. To buy things you don't need with money you don't have to impress people you don't like. This is the exorbitant privilege of the middle class. Okay? So they came up with this. So when I think drones, I think Afghanistan. So I called my brother Osman in Afghanistan. I said, Salam alaikum, Osman. I said, hey, these guys got some toy drones, man. He said, mate, we know this technology. One's hovering over me right now. I said, what do you think? He said, well, you know, they could come and test it here. But he said, can they change the payload? Okay, I said, okay, we'll try. But tell them don't send it. You know, they might think they want to send us Christmas present, but we're Muslims, you know, so tell them not to do it during Christmas time. My brothers in the Taliban might get a bit upset. Because, you know, you might be insulting religion. But my point is that the geeks are in control. And this is what we need to think about, my friends. We need to think about what we're going to do. Because the geeks have permeated every aspect of power, your lives. You don't even know it. And if you don't like what they say, they'll send a drone your way. Not next week or next year, today. That's my little poetry there. But, so I'd like you all to now, if you feel empowered to reject the tyranny, stand up. Please. Come on, stand up. Stand up. Come on. Okay. Stand up and fight the power. Can I have your left hands up? Revolutionary time. The tech time has taken away all our passion, all our feeling to fight and stand up for something. Stand up, okay. And I had a very cool moment here where you had, how many of you know get up, stand up? Stand up for your rights. Okay, thank you very much.